didn't really come into it with a plan of like what I'm gonna talk about. Um, but let's just talk about right now, man. Like, I think presence, being in the moment, is the most underrated thing in life. I think we live in a world that is based on I want this, I want that, I want all these things. I want the nicest car, I want the nicest house, I want all these different things, and money's those things never satisfy you. It's like this craving of I want more and I want more, I want more. And it's like you keep working for it and you keep trying to get to this place, and you're not going to get to that place if you keep wanting things externally. So presence is a good thing to say like, okay, man, I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like tomorrow is not guaranteed. How can I sit in the now and find gratitude for the life I've lived and the life I'm living? And I really just think presence is the kind of emptiness that puts you in this place to just be and not worry about anything other than the moment. And it helps you be objective too, you know? Um, the one thing I'm learning about presence is your breath. Just breathe, man. Anytime you get caught up in your thoughts, and anytime you get caught up in a negative thinking cycle of your thoughts, it's just focus on your breath. I think that's super important, and it's super convenient does not mean good. You know, I'm learning that convenience is not necessarily a good thing. I think if you had a long day at work and you have to go home and study or something, and you want to get some Panda Express on the way home, convenient can be good. You need to eat to, you know, give your body some energy and give your body some food. So I'm not saying convenience is necessarily like the devil. No, I don't think convenience is a bad thing, but it's not necessarily the best thing. Convenience. I've noticed a lot of convenience around me, you know, and I think one thing is convenient, like friendships or convenient relationships. And we all deal with it mainly when we're like in the workplace or school. For a lot of people, it's like high school, grade school, growing up. You're just friends with the people around you because it's convenient. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I know that you can make meaningful connections that way. But as you grow and you get older, man, like when you constantly keep seeking convenient relationships, you just hang out with somebody because, you know, they're next door to you. You just hang out with somebody because you work with them and, you know, you can hang out. I'm not saying it's always bad, but I'm saying that can sometimes it's not what is best for you. And seeking out meaningful like connections and relationships is really important because you have to grow as a person. And I have the kind of mindset at this point in my life of, you know what, man, I'm never gonna be done learning. I'm always gonna learn. I'm always gonna have some stuff to learn. And no matter how old I get, I'm going to be learning stuff. And the cool thing about learning is you're going to learn from people that are same age as you, younger than you, older than you. You can learn from all these different people. And I've listened to a guy named Jordan Peterson. He's a great lecturer. He's a psychologist. He's a psychology professor, I think, at the University of Toronto. But he's like, it's important to talk to people that you don't like because they could say, you know, 15 things you don't like, but then they could say that one thing that kind of sits with you and helps you grow. And you're kind of just like, whoa, man, like, and you can just take all that other stuff and just rub it off of like, dude, like, whatever, doesn't matter. Um, you got to seek what's best for you, you know, right now, best with whatever aligns with your intent. You know, like when I was like 19, 20, I realized that like my excessive partying and drinking habits were not helping me in life. I mean, a lot of the people around me were going to college and they had like an ideal degree and they were working towards it. And I was in that phase of my life where I wasn't in college and I was just working, but I didn't really have any goals. And it kind of made me feel like, it's like, fuck, man. Like, but I still was going out drinking, and I would try to talk to the people that I was going out with about like how drinking is not necessarily affecting my life in a positive way. And they were just like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, I'm fine. Like, you just got to do your shit and then you can, you know, work hard, play hard. And maybe for some people, but that was not working for me. And that's what I'm leading into about aligning with people of the same intent as you. So, how are you going to put yourself in a place to find meaningful relationships and connections that are going to, you guys are going to benefit each other in the long run? I feel like if people don't serve a purpose in your life anymore, then what? Like, it's really hard because a lot of the times it can be taken as personal, like, oh wow, they don't want to hang out with me anymore. And I don't look at it like that. I'm like, dude, like, I just gotta figure my shit out. I was an 18 or 19-year-old kid, and I didn't know what I wanted in my life, and I'm still learning about my life and what I want. But if you're not around people that are trying to figure out their life too, then what's the point? And that's when I found like a really close circle of friends, probably 3 or 4 buddies that we wouldn't all hang out together, but I mean, I would talk to them all and we would just kind of conversate, man. And we all were trying to figure life out. And we just grew a compassion and understanding for each other. Like, hey, man, like, it's okay to not have it all figured out. I guess I can lead that into another topic of, man, like, whatever age you're at, it's no one has it figured out. Just because somebody goes to college right after high school, they get their 4-year degree, then they get their master's, and then they get their doctorate, or whatever, that's good for them. But you can't compare. I always saw this quote of, you can't compare your chapter 5 to somebody's chapter 20. And just because you're the same age as somebody does not mean you're moving at the same pace. It doesn't mean that you guys didn't go through the same stuff. So everyone's in different places at life because we've all been through different stuff. So it's okay to not have it figured out, man. I definitely don't have it figured out. I'm 25. I don't have a college degree. I work in sales, and you know what, man? I don't have everything figured out, and I'm not putting pressure on myself to have it figured out. Uh, there's this Joe Rogan stand-up I always listen to, and it's so funny how he portrays it. He's like, dude, being a 17-year-old kid, like, he's like, everyone's asking you, what are you gonna do with your life, man? What are you gonna do with your life? And you're really like, I don't know. And then I feel like all the people around me were like, oh, well, I'm going to school and I'm going to school for this. And people were just like, oh, well, good for you. You sounds like you have it figured out. And truth is I always didn't have it figured out. I didn't truly know what I want to do. And right now I truly don't know what I want to do. So it's just like, it's okay, man. Just do something. That job that you're working at right now, it's not going to be the perfect job, but dude, just work at that job. It'll lead to something great. I'm taking a leap on something like this. I've always wanted to do a podcast and shoot the shit, talk about whatever, talk about exactly what I'm thinking about, man, because I think that's important. So how are you going to correlate that in your life right now? How are you going to say, like, okay, man, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm good with it. It's just kind of a step into presence. It's a step into, like, okay, man, acceptance. Like, okay, man, that's cool with me. See, I think often we do things and it leads us to another thing. And I'm learning that. And I learned it a little bit later in life, that you just have to try things out. You have to try things out and you're going to figure it out. And there's a book I read, I can't remember what it was called, but basically it talked about like, it's okay to be average. It's okay to be average. It's okay to, what's up, dude? It's okay to be average, and it's okay to just live a normal life. I think there's always this like drive, and I felt it growing up to like do something extraordinary and do something unique. And like basically, I didn't realize it, but I was striving to be better. I was striving to wanting to be better than other people, to have a bigger significance than other people. And I think you really can have an exuberant and significant impact on people, but you have to, not like you, but me, like I'm kind of just talking from what I'm learning and what I've learned. You have to kind of look at people as your equals to find compassion for them and to find understanding for them. It's like, dude, I'm a human being. You're a human being. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter where I'm at. And once you have that, you kind of have the ability to connect with different types of people and connect with more people. You just have genuine conversations, man. I think I've always like was chasing something, like wanted some like type of just extraordinary life. I think every guy's dream as a kid is to become a professional athlete or something like that. And man, that's for the longest time I was chasing that dream of being a professional athlete when I was like 8. So I mean, not like your significance to life than other people. Oh, hey. Um, how do we live a life that's fulfilling in our hearts, but it's not led by the ego? How do we live a life that's fulfilling in our hearts, but it's not led by the ego? I think we can be deceived by our ego to think that we're living in spirit. I think we can be deceived by what we think is good, but what's not actually good. The ego is kind of who you think you are, you know. And I think kind of leading it in, talking about social media, social media creates this image for a lot of people that you got to portray yourself a certain way. You want people to think you're a certain person or a certain way. And I'm guilty as charged, man. I definitely am not perfect, but a lot of my quotes I post and a lot of the pictures I post are positive messages. And do I walk the walk that I talk about on social media fully? No, man, no. I have faults. I'm not a perfect person, but it's easy to get in that trap. And then you identify yourself like, this is me. This is who I am. It's not who you are. It's who you want other people to think you are. And social media kind of creates that environment of like who other people think you are. So you're kind of living a life on there. You portray yourself as a certain way to other people. And the crazy thing is as humans, our nature, we're not going to just go on social media and post, the low times of our life on there. Everyone's posting the highlights, bro. We're posting high life, That's like, oh, just got back from Florida. You got a fucking little beach hat on with a beer in your hand and you're smiling away. And, I think it's good to embrace moments and share moments like that. But sometimes it can be the only thing that you post. And I think that's what leads to depression is some of these people don't get to experience life fully like that. So it's just like some people compare them. It's easy to compare yourself to other people, especially if you see how they're living on social media and you see people maybe who are traveling abroad or they're all their pictures are them just at their highest moments. And you're like, whoa, man, I wish I had that. Like, my life's not like that. And it's just, bro, their life's not like that either. Their life's not. No, it's so unrealistic to think that people on social media are exactly who they are in real life, because social media is not real life, bro. It's a part of real life. And I kind of am in this battle of social media because part of me, still uses it and I like it. And then there's like a big dark side to social media too that has never really affected me in a good way. And I ask myself, like, what are the good sides to social media, especially in moderation? I think um, I was able to hop on social media and share my podcast, that I was coming out with the podcast. And, now it's like, okay, I got some people to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And, now it's a good way to spread the word. It's a good way to, I don't know, if you see like modern day, I'm sure Amber Alerts or something like that on social media has probably saved somebody. So social media has a lot of positives, I think, especially for good local businesses. I think social media is a great marketing tool to get that word out there. But there's a big dark side to social media that we don't think about. And it's like we're more connected with each other, but we're not connected with each other, Like we're more connected, but who, like, with like Instagram stories and stories on Facebook, Snapchat stories, like I catch myself there at times, like sitting there going through everyone's story. And I think to myself, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's going on with these people? What are they up to? And then I do that for 50 people. And I just like saw what like 50 different people are doing. And I'm just like, why? That's not very irrelevant, or it's not very relevant to what's going on in the moment in my life. And I'm trying to learn to tune myself into the moment of what can I do right now to make my experience more impactful to society as a whole, or just simple as the people around you. And dude, I don't know. Like, what do? I just get off my phone, and even if it's like watch a TV show or watch a movie, but I learned to like watch a movie all the way through and don't take my eyes off of it, to just fully concentrate. Or, I've been reading a little bit more lately. You can sit down and read a book, get yourself away from technology. I mean, it's just good to sink into the present moment and not live out of it and always seeing what other people are up to, what other people are thinking, what other people are doing. Um, and social media kind of disconnects us in way more than it connects us. You think like, oh yeah, I mean, social media it's, what, dude, it's crazy because if I'm on Instagram, you're on Instagram, and 50 other people I know are all on Instagram at the same time, we're all looking down at our phones and we say like, we're all here, but bro, we're all staring at our hand. It's like you're just staring at your hand. If you move the phone, you're just staring at your hand. And imagine, I always told myself this, like, I wish I grew up in like in the 70s or 80s, because you didn't wake up and check your phone. You didn't wake up and check, your notifications on social media. You didn't wake up and do that. You woke up and you were just there, man. You were there in the moment. And like the 70s and 80s would be so cool because you know what, you didn't even have a way to get a hold of people until you saw them. Like, if you're leaving school that day, you would not see your friends until the next day. And it just, I really think before smartphones and social media and all this, people were so much more in the moment. And I found myself I found myself when I was going through some tough times, man, always on my phone. And I was always looking for the next YouTube video or the next post to watch or read. And I thought like, oh man, maybe if I just, watch some good videos on my phone, you know, yes, that's a good thing. Find some good YouTube videos that you can educate yourself with, or find some good YouTube videos that, might make you laugh or serve you at that moment. But the answer is not in the phone, bro. The answer is not in technology. The answer is in the now. It's like, what can we do in the now to like, dude, let's just get this shit out of here. Fucking throw it, dude. We don't need cell phones, but we have them. And nowadays I always told myself like, bro, I'm going to get a flip phone. I'm going to get a flip phone. I'm just going to live life with a flip phone. You can call me, you can text me, and I'll even do the numbers where you have to hit like the same number 3 times and be like, no, I'm kidding. But smartphones are just kind of like, it's just a tool to take you out of the moment. And it's sad because we live in a world where smartphones are necessary and they're required. I personally have to clock in for work on my phone. Like I have an app on my phone that I clock in for work. So right there, I mean, it's not like I need that. I can clock in on the computer too, but it's so easy to clock in on my phone. What is necessary? Exactly, man. Exactly. And it's so engraved in the normality of life. Like, what is happening? No one knows what's even going on, dude. We're all just like consumer drones. We just consume what is given to us, and we don't question why anything was given to us. Like, we don't say, like, we don't question anything. We just consume things, man. That's all we do. It's like when as a whole are we going to take a step to when as a whole are we going to take a step to start questioning the norm? You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's crazy. Like nobody's really a leader anymore. We're all followers to society. We all just do what we're told and do what's given to us, you know. We don't ever just try to hop on our own, not on our own, but hop on a different train to living. I don't. I try my best, and there's times, if there's a new TV show out on Netflix and people want to say, "Hey, you should watch it," and part of me is like, "Ah, man, like another fucking thing to watch. I don't need to watch," but then I watch it and it's good, and some people say, "Hey, listen to this new song," and I listen to it and I like it. But to an extent, how far are you gonna go? Of like, oh, dude, have you heard that new Drake song? It's so fucking good. Drake's so good, and we just accept what's given to us, man. We never, ever, ever question why we consume so much stuff. It's like the Matrix, man. It's just huge construct of keeping you enchained inside of this little bubble of what life is about. And outside of it is like this big giant. Outside of this bubble is this big giant. I know. I just had some turkey sauce. As the younger generation, as millennials, in 20, 30 years, the people that are in charge, they're not going to be in charge anymore. Most of them are going to be dead or retired, and we're going to be the ones in charge. And I do think we can learn from the older generations, but I don't think we should conform to everything that they think we should do, because it's a new world. Like, it's not even our generation. We grew up with like less technology. We had video games and computers and stuff, but like these kids nowadays are growing up with like straight smartphones. You see walking down the street and you see little Sue, who's 9. She's on FaceTime with her friends, and you question that. You're like, bro, that is crazy. Like I never had the ability to just talk to my friends whenever I want growing up. And I know that the generation before me can say like they didn't. I know the generation before me can say that they had a little bit of a better life when it comes to just playing outside and being disconnected. But the generation that's kids now, like I feel bad for them, man. Like they don't get outside. They don't get to like live a full life, man. It's all about electronics. And where I'm kind of going with like the people that are in charge of the world now, they grew up completely different than us. We had to merge with technology in such a short amount of time. And society, when we're 50 and we're 60, is going to be completely based on technology. And we're going to have an understanding of how technology kind of started and where it was at and where it took off to. And we have a better understanding of technology at our age because we grew up with it. Some of these people who are 50 or 60 grew up reading the newspaper and reading just from a book, which is still good, but they don't understand technology. Their brains were already fully developed, but our brains were developing when technology was evolving and getting to the place it was now. And we have to realize that that's a big part of how our society is constructed. So I think sometimes with the older generations, they have to just like back off and say, hey, you know, all right, like I think it's good to take advice from them, but I think it's like, hey, I don't understand technology like they do. I don't understand where life's going to go because when they were because you want to respect your elders and listen and do all that. But then I think at times, like when elders get a little too like, I know like right and wrong, like I know what's right. It's just kind of like a balance of it's a kind of an imbalance because I feel like at times when you're talking to people who are older than you, I know some really cool people that are older than me. So they look at you as an equal. They look at you like, hey, even if you haven't experienced as much like to me, I still value your perspective and I value who you are. And then there's those people who just like look at you different because they're older than you and they've gone through a little bit more in life. And that makes it, I feel bad for them because I can take advice from my 11-year-old niece. She's a smart little kid, man, and she has such like pure innocence to her. That's like, hey, Uncle Zach, like maybe you should look at life this way. And I'm like, holy crap, how does like a little kid think of stuff like that? But it's true. Even like when she was 4 or 5, she said some stuff that blew my mind, and you can learn from anybody at any age, from any age. You can be 30 and learn from someone who's 5. You can be 30 and learn from someone who's 80. You can be 30 and learn from someone who's the same age as you. Like we're all teaching each other stuff about life through our experiences and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know really know where I'm going other than this, man. I feel like I just rambled, schmambled for a while. So hopefully it was good. Hopefully you guys liked it. I'm adios and later.